Good evening, everyone. This is Avery Scott Martinez, writer, producer, director of Eddie Mackin, Private Eye, and I'm welcoming you to the program tonight. Tonight I have something very interesting for all of us, I am sure. Tonight marks the first time that the Salida High School Drama Club have very graciously given their performances on Eddie Mackin as a troupe. I wish them a very warm welcome. I say thank you to them for the time, the effort, the studying that has gone into making this program what it is. From here, the high school drama department will be helping with Eddie Mackin, Private Eye, and I couldn't be more thrilled to have some of my best friends, some of the greatest actors, and some of the most wonderful people I know on my program. So I wish them a very warm welcome. Tonight, Mackin Showcase comes in a three-part serial of the classic series Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. First airing in 1948 and going clear till 1962, where some say it marked the end of classic radio in America, Johnny Dollar dominated the airwaves. This is from the 1956 serialized adventures of Johnny Dollar starring Bob Bailey. During this time period, there were 5-part episodes, one for every weeknight that would play once for an hour on Saturdays, so you could hear each serialized adventure of Johnny Dollar every single night after school. Unfortunately, I can't do them every single weekday, so we're going to be doing this part of Mackin Showcase in 3 parts. Parts 1 and 2 of The Matter of the Medium, Well Done, are on the way here on Eddie Mackin, Private Eye. Once again, I want to thank the high school drama department for their involvement, welcome them to the program, and without further ado, we go right into this classic rendition of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. Johnny Dollar.
Hi, Johnny. Pat McCracken at Universal Adjustment Bureau.
Hiya, Patsy. What's on your mind?
Had your fortune told lately?
Nope, and I don't think I want to. The last time it came true.
Oh, what was it?
Well, this Madame Gaga went into a transom, or whatever you call it.
That's trance, boys, as if you didn't know.
Yeah, anyhow, she told me I was going to become an insurance investigator, and I've been stuck with it ever since.
Sad. So now, how'd you like to try your hand as a psychic investigator?
Sure, what do I need to do?
Drop over, will ya?
I'm on my way.
Tonight, and every weekday night, Avery Martinez and the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted to Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Universal Adjustment Bureau, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the matter of the medium. Well done. Expense account item 1, $1.15, taxi to the offices of Pat McCracken of Universal. I hadn't seen Pat since he'd ruined my Southern California vacation by insisting that I tie it in with the Jolly Roger matter in the Lamar case, where my expense account, for some strange reason, came out to a right nice figure. I decided even to include the case of VO I'd sent him for having handed me those investigations. So I didn't know whether he was going to be nice to me or to rub my nose in the dirt. As it turns out, he didn't quite know either.
Now, I don't quite know whether this is going to be another soft touch for that expense account of yours or a completely crazy one. A real rough. Tommy Green seems to think the same letter, though I don't see why particularly.
Yeah? Who's Tommy Green?
Mid-Eastern life down in New York. Oh, and just bill me as usual.
Sure, okay.
Tommy says he's run into this sort of thing before, not in such a big scale, that's why he's so worried about it.
Pat, you still haven't told me what this is all about.
Oh, this one of the clients happens to be a sweet young thing named Carol Sharp, 26 or 7. Beautiful, badly spoiled.
I love him that way.
What?
Nothing, go on.
Yes. She lives alone in a swank penthouse in the East 50s, down there in New York, Playgirl. Tommy holds a $110,000 policy on her, straight life.
Beneficiary?
Her family, mother, couple of kid brothers.
No father?
No, the others live over in Mackin, Pennsylvania. That's where her father made the dough that keeps her in the penthouse and keeps the others living well in the old family house.
So, what's the problem? Somebody threatening her life?
I don't know, Johnny. Depends on what you mean by threatening. She just requested Tommy to change beneficiaries.
What's so unusual about that?
One of them's to be a man named Tony Ricardo for 30 grand.
Oh, so she's fallen for the guy who's making the, nice gesture.
Maybe, we don't know yet. The other's a so-called medium, Madame Celia or something.
Oh, I've heard it before. Turn the family fortune over to me and I'll get in touch with dear departed Papa.
That's what it looks like from here. She's being took.
Well, how can it be any of our business?
Well, last time Tommy was requested to change beneficiary to medium, his hale and hearty young client suddenly turned up dead.
And they pinned it on the medium?
Mm-hmm. Apparently this sort of thing goes on quite a bit, so it has Tom worried. And he asked for you.
All right, just what do you want me to do?
What do you want to do?
Break out the old crystal ball, Pat, and we'll see. Expense account item 2, transportation, Hartford to New York and the offices of Mideastern, where Tommy Green turned out to be a mild-mannered, thoroughly likable, successful insurance broker.
Come in, Mr. Dollar. Glad you can make it.
How do, Mr. Green?
Sit down, won't you?
Thanks.
I suppose Pat McCracken has told you what's on my mind.
Only that you think one of your clients is being taken for the proverbial sleigh ride by some spiritualist.
As you no doubt know, Mr. Dollar, spiritualism is a recognized, well-established religion.
Sure, of course.
However, as in any other, there are charlatans, and some of these mediums, as they call themselves, take literally millions of dollars every year from people by trickery, by producing weird manifestations that appear to be generally supernatural.
Huh, Tommy, I think I know what you mean.
My own mother took a beating from one of these phonies when I was just a kid. You know, promised messages from father after he died. At $25 a try.
Wow, no wonder you're suspicious of him.
And especially of one Madame Slea Morgan Morga.
Have you seen this, madam?
No, but I believe you'd better.
Have you changed, what's her name, Sharp, Carol Sharp's policy yet?
No, but I'm afraid I can't stall her much longer.
And you're afraid that once you change it, Carol ain't gonna be around in this world for long, huh?
It's happened before, Dollar.
Yeah, well, I can't just barge in on this Madame Morgana and announce that I'm an insurance investigator and that another... Hey, wait a minute, what's the name of this other beneficiary?
Tony Ricardo.
Yeah, who is he?
All I know is what Carol's told me.
Love affair?
Yeah, he sounds like a playboy, but do a lot of nightclubbing together.
Money?
I don't know.
Family?
I don't know that either.
But he's in for 30 of 110,000 if anything happens to her.
If we change the policy, how are you gonna start?
Well, if this Carol Sharp is all Pat McCracken says she is, this case could have a very pleasant beginning. I stuck around with Tommy Green long enough to listen to and verify what Pat had said about Carol's family wealth, etc., and take a long look at a snapshot of her and get her address. Item 3, $1.80, taxi to the Bell Towers at 614 East 52nd Street. A magnificent modern apartment hotel at the edge of the East River. Real swank. The place even had its own private docks with several well-kept cruisers tied up and even a small seaplane. Pat, I warn you, this expense account ain't gonna be small.
Yes, may I help you, sir?
Yeah, you can. I'd like a small apartment for just a few days.
Are you alone, sir?
Yes.
Well, we still have a small 5-room penthouse suite for $1,500 a month.
What?
With complete maid service, of course.
Oh, of course.
And on a minimum 1-year lease, of course.
Look, all I want is a bedroom, living room type of thing. I may be here only a week or so.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm afraid there's nothing we can do for you. Unless... Tell me, sir, do you have any recommendations from any of our tenants?
Look, I'm an insurance investigator. Here, this is my card. And I want something as close to as possible to Miss Carol Sharp's apartment. But I don't want to have to rob Fort Knox.
Private investigator, did you say?
Yeah, that'll do.
Oh, dear, surely Miss Sharp can't be in any kind of, think what it would mean to our reputation. Mr. Dollar.
Look, stop worrying, will you? She isn't in any kind of trouble yet. But for reasons they don't particularly concern you, I need to be as close to her as I can.
Oh, what a pleasant thought. If only
For the same reason I don't want her to know what my business here is.
Of course. Believe me, Mr. Dollar, I'm the very soul of discretion.
Good. See that you stay that way. Now, have you got a room or two for me?
Let me see. Now, she's in penthouse A on floor 12. There is a 2-room on 10. Very nice at $325 a week with complete service, of course.
Okay, I'll take it.
Very well. Just sign this card, please. Dear, I'm afraid I must have a week in advance.
Oh, sure. What's a measly $325? When the 2 bellboys who carried up my 2 bags at $1 apiece settled me into room 1013, I must admit that the place looked almost worth the tab. Tastefully furnished, spit and polished clean, with a plate glass panorama view of the bustling East River. Yeah, I wish for a moment that I could afford this sort of lodging. First thing I did was telephone an old pal.
Detective Division, Sergeant Stinger.
Hey, look, Sarge, I need a rundown on a dirty crook.
Who's speaking, please?
He's going around acting like an insurance dick, but he's a crook.
Oh, what's his name?
Dollar, Johnny Dollar. I tell you, that punk is as crooked as they come.
Don't go any further. We know all about him. We got word here in New York, and we'll put a stakeout on him the minute we spot his hideout.
That copper I can give you.
Good. Johnny, just where you staying?
Hi, you old reprobate. I'm at the Towers, East 52nd.
The Toe? Expense account, huh?
How'd you guess? I want to see you.
In exactly 21 minutes, I'll punch the time clock and be over.
Room 1013.
Right. Oh, and, be sure it's with soda.
Easy, boy, easy. Give you any encouragement and you'll want to name the brand of scotch. Item 4, 1220. 1 bottle of scotch and setups for 2.
Johnny. Knew her from when I was doing the nightclub beat.
Then she's lived in town for quite a while, huh?
Yeah, couple of years at least.
How much do you know about her, Randy?
Not much. She's loaded, throws money around like it's confetti.
Yeah, I figured that. When I found her staying here, her father left it to her.
Coal miner, wasn't he?
On a big quarry up in Frankville, Pennsylvania, somewhere near Markand.
Well, it must have paid off for good in the old days. But tell me, you want to give me a refill?
Yeah, sure. Ever hear of a Madame Celia Morgana or something like that?
Huh. I've chased that blousy old phony from one end of the island to the other. I look into the crystal ball and I see into the past, the present, the future, and into your pocketbook.
Yeah, and man, I bet she could.
I think she's operating somewhere over on the Jersey side now.
Here.
Thanks.
But she's still operating.
Operating with real class. Last time we picked her up and kicked her out.
How do you mean?
Nice apartment over here on the east side. Classy clientele. Say, is Carol Sharp hooked by her?
Appears so. Just how does she work?
Well, the usual way the phonies do. Goes into a trance, rides around like a seasick rattlesnake, and then gives with the voices.
Voices?
You know, speaks with the tongues of the departed.
Okay, hey, look, where's the money angle in this?
Well, she makes like the trances because her great agony of body and mind starts with the pitch about Dr. Bills. And the more clients can afford, the more money they pay.
And they don't get wise?
She's smart. Works like a serial story, you know? Continued next week.
No, I don't know. Brief me.
Well, at each seance, she tells them just enough to whet their appetite for more. Leads right up to the next hot bit of information, has them hanging on every word, then bingo! The trance is over.
Ah.
However, if you come back next week when I recover my strength... So they pay her off, and they're back a week later to play games with her again.
I don't know, it sounds pretty obvious to me.
Well, that's because you've never attended a seance run by an artist at it. Hey, why don't you?
I think I will.
I'll see what I can dig up for you.
You mean there are still some going on around town?
Dozens. Hundreds, probably. Kick them out of one place, they move to another. Unless you can tie a serious rap on them.
Which reminds me, Tommy Green told me about...
Yeah. Handled that one myself. A Madame Gabor Charnowski got a sweet old man to sign over his fortune and had him knocked off. Oh, it's a dirty racket.
Yeah, religion, science, the professions. They all leave it an open door to racketeers, I guess. Okay, set me up a seance, Randy. And in the meantime, run me a make on Tony Ricardo, will ya?
Ricardo?
Yeah, he's another one Carol Sharp wants to name as a beneficiary.
Besides the medium?
Yeah, beneficiary of a whopping big life insurance policy.
Okay, good, Johnny. I'll call you later.
While I took my time showering and changing clothes, since they were paying for the hot water, I racked my brain trying to cook up the smooth way to meet Carol Sharp. Under no circumstances did I want her to suspect the reason behind my interest in her, at least not for the present. Requisite number 1, then meet the gal. I was just tying my tie when the phone rang. Johnny Dollar.
Randy. Johnny.
Oh, hiya, Ran. Set up a date with the medium?
Yeah, for tonight, but that's not what I'm calling about. Johnny, I could write a book for you.
Huh?
On Tony Ricardo, and I don't think you'd like it. You seen him yet?
No, but I will, soon as I can locate him.
Well, if he finds out what you're working on, he'll locate you.
Fine.
Yeah, just be sure you see him first, and that you're carrying a gun.
Thanks, Randy.
Now, here's our star to tell you about our intriguing episode of this week's story.
Well, sometimes the best laid plans can take a terrible beating when a lovely girl steps into the picture. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is Jack Johnstone, who also wrote tonight's story. Be sure to join us. Stay tuned to Johnny Dollar. Aaron McCorkindale speaking.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Pat. I'm here to bring you some new information on the great new 1952 Mercury car. The only car that'll get you nowhere, and fast. I'm here with my co-host.
Hi, I'm Devin.
And Devin and I are here. We're on the street in New York City on location. We are grabbing people directly off 42nd Avenue to check out and see what they think of the new Mercury.
Oh, look, there's one now.
Okay, we'll grab him. Hello, sir. What's your name?
My name is Rob.
Hi, Rob. Well, me and Devin here. I'm Pat. And we are doing a survey to find out what people on the street here in New York City think of the 1952 Mercury car, the only car that will get you nowhere and fast.
Oh, I absolutely love it. It doesn't do a whole lot, but it attracts all the ladies.
I'm sure. Doesn't that shine on the front just look amazing? Just like a thermometer.
So beautiful.
Well, thank you, sir. I'm sorry we don't have much more time to talk to you, but thank you. Your opinion is greatly appreciated. Let's see, who else can we grab?
I got hot and bothered just standing next to him.
I know, well, I'm not sure how to react to that. That was somewhat insulting. There's somebody over there on the street. Hold on a second. Ma'am, wait. Hello, ma'am. Hello. I'm Pat, and this is my friend Devin, and we're asking people all over here in New York City about the new 1952 Mercury car. It's the only car that'll get you nowhere and fast. What are your opinions?
You look like such a nice young couple. What do you appreciate about the car?
Well, we bought this car to make the Robinsons jealous. I make my husband wash it every weekend.
I hate this car.
Honey, you missed a spot.
Ah!
Oh my, well, I'm glad to hear that you enjoy your car, and has it made the Robinsons jealous? I guess not, they just walked away. Alright, let's see, who else do we have?
Why do you always make me want this car?
Oh my god, alright, well, over there's somebody else. Sir, wait! Sir, wait, do you have a moment to speak with us about the new 1952 Mercury car, the only car that gets you nowhere and fast?
Yeah, sure.
What are your thoughts about the car? What do you think of it?
Can it fly me to the moon?
No, sir, we haven't even sent a man to the moon before.
What's so special about it?
Well, it's the only car made from A1 nuclear-grade mercury.
Can it fly me to the moon?
I just said it couldn't, sir.
Well then, screw you.
Oh my goodness! Alright, well, That was the best interview yet. All right, let's see. Wait. It looks like there's somebody else over there. Wait a second. Wait. Sir, do you have a moment to speak to us about the new 1952 Mercury car, the only car that will get you nowhere and fast?
Man, dude, you gotta try this. Lick this car, man. Lick it. I don't know why, but I've just been.
I'm pretty sure he said lick it.
So relaxed. I don't know why.
I've
been licking this so much. It turned
sir,
from
you need
red
to.
to
I
green.
think you need to leave the premises. I think.
Sir, I'm sorry. but,
Officer!
No.
Officer!
No, you will not
Officer!
take me.
Officer!
No.
Officer!
No! Gigantic squirrels!
All right then. Well, there's another lady on the grounds over there. Wait, ma'am. Wait. Hey, excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me. What's your name?
Maria?
Okay. Hello, Maria. Pat, and my friend Devin here, we are here to talk about the new 1952 Mercury car, the only car that's going to get you nowhere and fast. What do you have to say about it?
Du lugter. Jeg har ikke rigtig lyst til at svare det spørgsmål. I amerikanere er så mærkelige.
You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. That was what she just said right there. Well, unfortunately, we're running out of time.
Don't forget it.
Yes, don't forget that. We have to get you back to your program. We're sending you straight back to the program now. This is Pat and Devin signing out from 42nd Street in New York, reminding you that you can only get one Mercury car on the market from Studebaker Industries.
From Hollywood, it's time now for
Johnny Dollar.
Randy Singer at headquarters, Johnny.
Oh, hi. Any information on Tony Ricardo?
Only what I told you before. Look out for him.
Randy, that doesn't sound like anybody that a gal like Carol Sharp would be associated with.
Who knows? For a cut of her money, most anybody be willing to act like a nice old coot till he got his hands on it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But now, I thought you were going to set up a seance for me, or couldn't you find a crystal ball?
I'm working on it. I'll call you.
Yeah, do that.
Tonight, Avery Martinez in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's famous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location New York City, to the Universal Adjustment Bureau, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the matter of the medium. Well done. 3 people to look up immediately. First, Carol Sharp, wealthy heiress, who insisted on a funny change in the beneficiaries of a whopping big life insurance policy. Second, a questionable character named Tony Ricardo, who was scheduled to be one of those beneficiaries. Third, in the same category as Tony, one Madame Celia Morgana, a self-styled psychic medium. Instead, I huddled with Tommy Green, the broker who handled Carol Sharp's policy.
But you haven't even seen Carol yet.
Nope.
Johnny, I can't stall off changing the beneficiaries of her policy much longer. You've got to do something about this.
Because you don't like mediums?
This one is a fake, and...
Or you don't like playboys with foreign name.
Listen, Johnny, I'm afraid that once she names them in her policy, her body'll suddenly turn up floating around somewhere in the East River.
But what if I find her okay, and in spite of the opinion of Sergeant Singer of the NYPD?
What did he say?
Oh, not much, but he hinted that when I met Ricardo, I'd better be carrying a gun.
Well, don't you see? That's exactly what I'm driving at.
As for the medium, well, Tommy, you know as well as I do that there are a lot of perfectly legitimate, honest spiritualist churches all over this country.
Believe me, Johnny, if this one ever saw the inside of a church, it would be a miracle. She's a fraud.
How do you know? Ever met her?
I know how these phonies operate.
Did you ever meet her?
No, I haven't. I haven't the least idea where to look for her. That's why I sent for you. But you haven't even seen Carol yet. Now look...
Tommy, I've taken a place in her apartment hotel, the Bell Towers.
Oh, you expensive account boys.
And I'll meet her as soon as I can, in my own way. Meanwhile, I want you to do something for me.
Anything.
Find out something about the beneficiaries she wants to cut off.
Her mother, and 2 brothers out of Marchland, Pennsylvania.
Find out how they're doing financially, among other things.
How? Johnny, hire another investigator? I take it that you don't want them to know about it.
Well, why don't you cook up some kind of news item about Carol, the local girl in the big city, and phone it into the local newspaper editor. Those small-town papers love that sort of stuff, and the editor will probably talk his head off about the family if you encourage him a bit.
What kind of news item?
Anything that's harmless.
Sounds like something that you'd be better at than I.
Tommy, I've got other things to do. Plenty. Armed with a snapshot of Carol, I took a cab to the Bell Towers, and I hoped that somehow, and without making it too corny or obvious, I could figure out a way to get next to Carol Sharp. As it turned out, it was both corny and successful. You see, the automatic elevator in the towers is a slow one.
Will you push the button for 12, please?
Oh, surely, miss. I'm only going to the...
What's the matter?
Oh.
Well, here, I'll push it.
No.
I beg your pardon.
I'm sorry, but well, I can't believe this unless I'm psychic.
Now look, mister, this city is too big and too sophisticated for it. Is there something wrong with you? Did you want to get off on the 10th floor, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Well, we're here, floor 10. So, mister, did somebody hypnotize you?
Yes, no, please, miss, excuse me. It's well, just, I can't believe that, I'm terribly sorry. Oh, when I was a kid, I used to have this dream, over and over and over again about this beautiful girl, and her name was Carol.
What?
The same dream, over and over, and then, well, it started with me just now because, well, you look just like she did. Oh, but it's all nonsense, and I know it, and I apologize.
Carol, did you say?
Yes, but it was just a dream, and I just imagined that you resembled her, and look, I'm terribly sorry, and I know what this has to look like to you.
Yes, like a veritable dream.
What?
A truth dream. It's a psychic phenomenon.
Oh, yeah, that, well, I'm sorry, but I don't believe in that sort of stuff.
Oh, well, it just happens that there are thousands of cases on record, and my people of reputation and responsibility.
Oh, sure, now excuse me, and again, I want to apologize for this, well, embarrassing moment. Goodbye. I could see over my shoulder that she left the elevator door open until I had gone into my suite across the hall. I sat down next to the broad window overlooking the East River and crossing my fingers waited. 10 minutes? 15? Hello?
Mr. Dollar?
Yes, who's there?
This is Carol.
What?
Your dream girl. Hello?
Oh, hello. I get it. I made a fool of myself in the elevator and now you're rubbing it in.
No, I didn't mean it in that way. I hope you didn't think I'm being forward, but I'd like to talk with you. About your dream, I mean. What's that mean?
And I was afraid you thought I was trying to pull a fast one in the elevator, but, how did you know who I am?
I just asked the desk clerk who is in 1013. My name is Carol Sharp.
Then it really is Carol. Well, that's amazing.
And that's why I want to talk to you.
Well, there's a nice cocktail lounge downstairs.
In a half hour?
In a half an hour.
Bye.
Ah, Dollar, you're a fast one. Johnny Dollar.
Randy Singer.
Yep, I ought to have known.
Why? What's the matter?
After what I've been talking to, this is a come down.
Now you do. You met Carol Sharp, huh?
Sure did.
Uh-huh. Oh, look, I've set up the seance I promised you. Still want it after you've met the girl?
Sure. I want to find out what this stuff is all about and how those people operate and so on. Want to pick me up here at the towers?
Why don't you meet me here at headquarters? Then you can look over the file on Tony Ricardo.
Good idea.
I'll be clear any time after 6.
Better make it around 7. I've got a date for cocktails.
Are you in town on a case or...
With Carol Sharp.
You lucky dog. See you later.
To say that Carol looked like a vision when she swept into the cocktail lounge would have been a gross understatement. Her light blue cocktail gown was probably from something directly out of an Elizabeth Taylor movie, but its lines were simple in the extreme and only served to accentuate the fresh, live figure and natural beauty of the girl. Her blonde hair was drawn back tightly, and a silver blue mink stole was draped carelessly over one shoulder. If I put on an act when I started talking to her in the elevator, believe me, this was no act now.
I hope you don't think me too brazen for having called you the way I did.
Oh, you have no idea how glad I am. Will this be all right?
Oh, fine, thank you.
I was afraid after that episode in the elevator you might have thought I was some lonely bachelor trying to find a date.
Well, are you a bachelor?
I confirmed.
You just haven't met the right girl.
Well, there are times like this when I think perhaps...
Your order, sir?
Sure, yeah. Carol?
Sherry and bitters, please.
Sherry and bitters and a Jack and Coke.
Thanks.
Be honest with me. Do I really look like that girl you used to dream about when you were a little boy? Or did you dream about a little girl your own age who just happened to bear some resemblance to me?
No. You see...
That's very important, you see. If it really was a veritable dream, well, you see, that phenomenon of precognition would be involved too, so to speak.
Precognition?
Yes, you are now knowing me physically, before you could have possibly known me by any natural means, where you have lived most of your life.
Oh, all over, here in New York, Hartford, Connecticut.
Eastern Pennsylvania?
No, never, except for the occasional trip to Philadelphia, but that wasn't until I was grown up.
Then you couldn't possibly have ever actually seen me, because all my life I've lived in Pennsylvania, and, well, in a coal mining district.
Well,
So, your dreams of me must have been due to some supernatural cause.
Well, Carol...
Well, there's no other explanation, well, is there?
Carol,
Sherry and bitters for the lady, and...
Thanks, I'll sign that. Saved by the bell, or rather by the waiter. I'm afraid I came awfully close to admitting to Carol that I jumped the whole dream business up just to meet her and talk with her. She was certainly hep on the subject of things psychic, and I'm afraid a natural sucker for anyone who wanted to capitalize on her gullibility. Beautiful, intelligent, well-educated, but, well, you'll see what I mean.
And although it's a terrible strain on her, these deep trances, I've received messages through her, Johnny, from my father.
Through this medium?
Yes, Madame Morgana.
And your father's dead?
He died 3 years ago.
Carol, are you sure about those messages?
Yes, Johnny, I'm sure. That's why I want you to go and see. See these things for yourself, will you? Will you go to her with me?
Well, now don't swing at me, but at this point I think I'd go anywhere with you.
Oh, Johnny, I'm serious. I want to tell her about you anyway, and the veritable dream.
Well, all right. When?
Well, I'll call her tonight, and perhaps you can see her tomorrow night. All right?
Yep. Carol, I don't want to seem suspicious, but
Yes?
Don't tell her anything about me, except that you're bringing me along.
Oh, no. Well, of course not. She wouldn't let me anyway. That's the way the fraudulent mediums work.
Oh, there are frogs among them?
Plenty of them. You know, they get all their information from some mutual friend. They pretend they're getting it from a supernatural source.
And she doesn't?
I'm sure of it.
So far, so good. I'd met Carol Sharp. I'd convinced her in a snide sort of way that I was intrigued with this psychic phenomenon business. I was well on the way to meeting the medium who had sparked this whole case. And later tonight, thanks to Sergeant Randy Singer of the NYPD, I'd attend a seance calculated to be my first step in finding out how the phonies in the racket impress their customers. There was just one more person to meet. Tony Ricardo, whom Carol wanted to name, along with the medium, as beneficiary of her big insurance policy. By the time Carol and I had finished cocktails, I was sorry I'd made plans for the evening, but I was already late for my meeting with Randy at headquarters. I took Carol back to her penthouse, then dropped into my suite to pick up a top coat. Somebody had shoved a note under my door. Mr. Dollar, if you value your life, you'll stay away from Carol Sharp. It was unsigned.
Now, here's our star to tell you. Now, here's our star to tell you next week's intriguing episode of Next Week's Story.
Next week, I find out a thing or two about a killer and about a medium not so well done. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Avery Martinez. It is produced and directed by Avery Martinez and Waste Management. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for For the next exciting episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, James McCorkindale speaking.
We wish you good night from Mackin's Showcase, inviting you to be here next week to hear the next thrilling conclusion to yours truly, Johnny Dollar. But don't worry, Eddie Mackin himself will be back on the air pretty soon. I want to thank and welcome the Salida High School Drama Club, who are performing for the first time on this program as a troupe. We have in our cast tonight Melissa Belmonte, James McCorkindale, Orion Gamber, Michael Ritchie, Avery Martinez, Malene Simonson, Devin Janks, and Adrian Ramsey. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's program, and we look forward to having you here again. So be sure to tune in next week at the same time and same station for the next thrilling episode of Eddie Mackin, Private Eye.